Hi, my name is Preetha. I'm a freelance food consultant and I totally love to cook. I love looking at different aspects and different type of recipes which come from the various regions of India. Today we will be looking at one such aspect, that is the curry. I'll be showing you how to make a South Indian curry, which is also called as Mor Kuzhambu. Mor Kuzhambu is basically a melange of vegetables and a curd based gravy. So let us see how to make this recipe. Let us have a look at the ingredients for this recipe. I'll be using a teaspoon of mustard seeds, around half a teaspoon of fenugreek seeds, which is also called as methi, a few red chillies, dried red chillies, a few sprigs of curry leaves, a little bit of hing which I've dissolved it in water. If you're not using kadha hing, that is the whole hing, the gum hing, you can use powdered hing also, not a problem. In that case, you can use half a teaspoon of that. Some fresh curd, around 3 tablespoons of fresh curd, salt to taste, a pinch of turmeric, and the vegetable, the main vegetable that we are going to be using today in the recipe is pumpkin. I've used white pumpkin, which is also called as petha. You can use a variety of vegetables. You can use ladyfinger, brinjal, you can use yellow pumpkin, leave that up to you. And the main ingredient and other main ingredient in this recipe is the paste. I've used green chilies, a bit of cumin seeds, that's jeera, and coconut to make this paste. We'll get to the proportions later. And last but not the least, around a teaspoon of cooking oil to start with. To start with, around a teaspoon of cooking oil. Let it heat up. Once it heats up, add around a teaspoon of mustard seeds and allow it to crackle. Once it starts crackling, toss in the rest of the ingredients. This is a very staple recipe which goes very well with rice. Somebody can have it as a gravy with chapati also, but South Indians prefer to have it with steamed rice. And you will see that there are a lot of variations to this. Keralites make it with the paste that I am going to show you today. There can be variations. You can play around with the spices like you wish to. So the mustard has crackled. Time to add the other ingredients. A bit of fenugreek seeds. This is very good for digestion. Sprig of curry leaves. Need to be quick. Some red chilies goes in, give it a quick stir. The aroma of methi is just amazing. Now you need to dunk in the pumpkin which I have cut into dices. Just give it a quick stir. Add a dash of haldi. See, there are various variations to this recipe. The one that I will be showing is going to be a very basic paste which I am making with cumin seeds and coconut and a little bit of green chilies. You can also make it with dried red chilies and coriander seeds and pepper. So the variations are endless. But nevertheless, it's still a coconut based recipe. That's what makes it very different from a North Indian curry where it is more besan based. Now that given it a quick stir, we will add a bit of water to this just to cover it. Give it a quick mix. And what I am going to do is add a dash of salt at this point. I will be adding the rest of the salt later as required for the paste, but just a dash of salt to allow the cooking of the vegetables because it's going to allow the vegetables to cook faster. So now I am going to cover it with a lid and allow it to cook. So while our vegetable is simmering, I think we should get down to the paste which is going to make the base for the gravy. So for that I am going to take 3 tablespoons of curd in a bowl. I am going to add small dash of hing to this, and I am going to first whisk it up nicely to ensure that there are no lumps. Ensure that your curd is fresh and it is not sour, because obviously that's going to give a very different flavor. Now that you have beaten this, it's time to add the paste. Now, like I told you, I have used cumin seeds and green chilies and coconut in this recipe. So I have used around a teaspoon of cumin seeds, around 2 to 3 chilies depending on what type of green chilies that you are using. I have used the non-sharp ones, so which is why I have used around 3 of them, and I mean you can use it according to your taste. If you want it really spicy, you can use around 4 to 5 also, depending on how spicy it is. And along with that I have added 1/3 cup of freshly grated coconut, or just chop it up into chunks and just grind it into a fine paste. What you can also do as an addition is you can add a little bit of raw rice in this to act as a thickening. If you are going to cut down on the coconut, this is a good tip. If you are going to cut down on the coconut, what you can do is soak some rice, add it to this paste, say around a teaspoon of raw rice would do. Grind it along with this. That will add as a natural thickener if you are going to reduce your coconut content in the recipe. So now what I am going to do is dunk in this paste. I have not added any salt at the moment. It's always best to add the salt towards the end when you have already added a bit of salt towards the start of the recipe. What I'm going to do is give it a quick mix, and also you should be checking on your vegetables at this time. You want them cooked firmly but not losing their shape. Now what we are going to do is we are going to thin down this paste. Please remember that you are using fresh curd. So when you are going to use fresh curd in a recipe which is really hot, there are chances that it's going to split. So what we are going to do is we are going to add a bit of water and make it a little watery, and then add it to the vegetables. So I am adding around 3/4 cup of water. Just give it a mix. So now our paste is almost ready, and I can see that our vegetables are almost ready. You can see that the water has been absorbed, but the vegetables are still firm, and that's what we want, because there's still going to be a lot more cooking once you're going to add this paste. So as you can see, the vegetables are almost cooked but little firm, and that's what we want. At around this point I'll be adding the paste, or rather the gravy. Give it a quick good stir. I'll be adding some more water. Just mix it all up nicely. Sure there's no wastage. Give it a mix and add salt to taste. Now like I told you, I have already added some salt while I was cooking the vegetable. So keep that in mind and then add the remaining salt. And now you need to allow it to simmer. The gravy is going to simmer and it's going to thicken, and that's when your Mor Kuzhambu is going to be ready. So now as you can see, the gravy has reduced. It's become much thicker. Now it's ready to serve. And I'm going to transfer portions of this onto a bowl. So our pumpkin curry, or what you can also call it as pumpkin Mor Kuzhambu, is ready to serve. I do hope that you are going to try this out. Please send us your feedback. Do not forget to subscribe to India Food Network, and until next time, it's Preetha signing off. Bye.